Most people think every animal needs a male to have babies. Well, that's not always true. Some animals completely skip males. Some borrow them without using their DNA, and one tiny creature has survived this way for millions of years. It sounds like science fiction, but it's happening right now in nature. So today, let's look at 5 animals that completely rewrote one of biology's oldest rules. Number 5. Aphid. This is an aphid. If you've ever looked closely at a plant covered in tiny green bugs, you've probably seen one. They spend their lives sucking sap from plants, and most people never give them a second thought. But hidden inside these tiny insects is one of nature's most unbelievable reproductive systems. For most of the year, female aphids don't need males at all. Instead of mating, they simply produce clones of themselves. Every baby is genetically almost identical to its mother. And it gets even stranger. A female aphid can give birth to around a dozen daughters every single day. But those newborn daughters aren't really newborn. While they're still inside their mother, they're already carrying developing daughters of their own. It's like 3 generations living inside one another at the same time. This cloning process allows aphid populations to explode. In just one growing season, a single female can lead to millions of descendants without a single male being involved. But nature always has a backup plan. When winter approaches, cloning becomes risky because the clones can't survive the cold very well. So the colony suddenly starts producing males and special females. They finally mate, producing eggs that can survive through freezing temperatures. When spring arrives, those eggs hatch into females that begin cloning all over again. Thus, the cycle continues. Number 4. Amazon molly. This small fish is called the Amazon molly, and it's one of the strangest fish ever discovered. Unlike almost every other fish species, every Amazon molly is female. So you might be wondering, if there are no males, how are they still alive? Well, this is where things become truly bizarre. Amazon mollies still look for males, but not from their own species. Instead, they borrow males from closely related molly species. The male thinks he's reproducing normally. He transfers his sperm exactly like he would with a female from his own species. But that's not what actually happens. The sperm's only job is to activate the egg. Once that happens, the female prevents the father's genetic material from becoming part of the embryo. The baby develops almost entirely as a clone of its mother. Poor guy, he did all the work, but none of his DNA gets passed on. Scientists still study why males continue to mate with Amazon mollies, but somehow this unusual system has survived for thousands of generations. Nature found a loophole, and it's still working. Number 3. New Mexico Whiptail Lizard. Now let's move from water to land. This is the New Mexico Whiptail lizard. At first glance, it looks like any ordinary desert lizard, but every single individual in this species is female. There are no males. None. These lizards reproduce through a process called parthenogenesis, where an unfertilized egg develops into a baby. Every daughter is almost an exact copy of her mother. But here's something scientists found especially interesting. Even though males don't exist, the females still perform mating-like behaviors with each other during the breeding season. Why would they do that? Researchers believe these behaviors help stimulate hormone changes that improve egg production. In other words, they no longer need males, but they still kept part of the behavior their ancestors once relied on. Evolution removed one part of the system, but left another behind. It's like keeping the key after replacing the entire lock. Number 2. Marbled crayfish. This strange freshwater crayfish wasn't known to science until relatively recently. It's called the marbled crayfish, and every single one of them is female. One day, a genetic mutation created a crayfish capable of reproducing without mating. That single individual became the ancestor of every marbled crayfish alive today. One female can produce hundreds of eggs, and every baby is another clone capable of doing exactly the same thing. Think about what that means. If just one marbled crayfish is released into a lake, it doesn't need to search for a mate. It simply starts reproducing. Then its daughters do the same. Then their daughters. In only a few generations, one lonely crayfish can become thousands. This incredible ability has helped the species spread rapidly into new environments, making it one of the most successful invasive freshwater animals in several parts of the world. Sometimes, it all takes is one. Number 1. Bdelloid Rotifer. Now for perhaps the strangest animal on this entire list. Meet the Bdelloid Rotifer. You've probably never seen one because it's microscopic, but despite its tiny size, it has puzzled scientists for decades. Most animals depend on sexual reproduction because mixing DNA helps remove harmful mutations over time. Without that process, many scientists once believed a species would eventually disappear. But Bdelloid rotifers ignored that rule. As far as scientists have observed, they have reproduced without males for millions of years. That's an incredibly long time. So how did they survive? Researchers are still trying to answer that question. One reason may be their incredible ability to survive extreme conditions. When ponds dry up, these microscopic animals can almost completely dry out as well. When water returns, they become active again. During these extreme survival periods, something unusual may happen to their DNA, helping maintain genetic diversity in ways scientists are still investigating. Even today, they continue challenging ideas about why sexual reproduction became so common in the animal kingdom. Sometimes the smallest creatures ask the biggest scientific questions. Nature rarely follows simple rules. Some animals clone themselves for most of their lives, others borrow males without using their DNA, while others completely eliminated males millions of years ago, while others can build an entire population from a single individual. These species remind us that evolution doesn't care about doing things the normal way. If a strange strategy helps an animal survive, nature is perfectly happy to keep it. And honestly, that's what makes the animal kingdom so fascinating. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and hitting that subscribe button for more videos just like this.